great. Hot damn, I'm great. Hot damn, I'm great. Hot damn, I'm great. Hot damn, I'm great.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
So this is my opinion. The best lightweights in the last 5 years, let's say. Teofimo Lopez, Lomachenko, Devin Haney. And Tank hasn't fought any of them. Never unified a strap. You know, Wilder's a lot older. But, you know, he has fought Fury. He has fought Zhang and Parker. They're the best three heavyweights he's fought. Luis Ortiz don't get in the conversation. At least Wilder's fought them, lost, and found out he's not a top guy. Tank is still under protection from Al Heyman, is what I'm saying. Check this comment here on Twitter. He's from Arizona. People like Tank because he's an entertaining fighter. Most people don't care about resumes or belts. It's not hard to tell that Gervonta Davis is a generational talent. Do you hear what he said? Most people don't care about resumes and belts. So Tank can basically get through his whole career without fighting Lomachenko, without fighting any of the top lightweights. Let's say people want to see a Shakur Stevenson fight. And Shakur hasn't really fought no one, but you can't get no one to fight him. Let's keep it real. And when someone like Shakur wants to fight Tank, then they'll say he hasn't fought nobody, which contradicts what this guy said. I thought that didn't matter. Resumes and belts. Shakur is a freeweight champion and a bigger commodity than the likes of Frank Martin. So the contradiction is hard to get past. And I think that's what I find most frustrating. It's hard to get past. And most of Tank Davis and PBC fight fans are so biased, so contradictory. That's why it's enjoyable watching their fighters get smashed apart one by one. Errol Spence, Wilder. And if Tank is a hype job, he'll have a similar fate. And they won't be able to do nothing to stop it, the fan base. It is what it is. Wilder was knocking over a lot of nondescript heavyweights, and some of them were good wins, but nowhere near as good as his fan base was saying. They were comparing him to Muhammad Ali and all types of greats, and they're comparing Tank to the greats right now. What's to say that he doesn't go down the same fate as Wilder? We've just overhyped, overinflated this fighter's worth. Contradiction. The Tank-friendly media say he's the face of boxing. The Canelo-friendly media say he's the face of boxing. So they should be held to the same standard. So why do the Tank fans give him a pass for fighting Frank Martin, but yet they wouldn't give Canelo a pass for fighting Jaime Munguia, who's got a way superior resume? If you're talking about bodies, knockouts, excitement, way better than Frank. Way better. Way better. It's not even comparable. And this is one of the contradictions you get from the PBC fans. They approve everything their fighters do. Frank Martin, you know, one of his best wins was against that Rivera kid. What was Rivera's credentials? Apart from looking like Ali, fought the European, is it Artunian, didn't look great in that fight, did Frank? And that weight cut aesthetically looked like one of the worst ever to me. It looked really bad. Could that have compromised his punch resistance? Or maybe he just couldn't take a punch. Who knows? Yeah, good power. Left uppercut, left hook.
And he was out for the night.
Why have you got world title fights where they're using two separate agencies, the fighters? What would happen in 2024 if Eddie Hearn had a fighter using an alternative to VADA in America? They'd be asking questions. It wasn't even slick the way Tank went from basically saying Ryan was a PD user early last year. And then when he popped dirty against Devin, he's defending Ryan, throwing shade at VADA, and then he runs over to USADA. So you don't see what he did. He defended Ryan as a smokescreen to get off VADA. Why you want to get off VADA? Isn't the consensus opinion that VADA is more effective than USADA? It's not dodgy. This comment here. That's what bothers me about Tank. He's yet to fight anyone where he's not the clear favourite, and everybody plays surprised when he wins decisively. You could literally see that result coming yesterday. Did anyone really think Tank was going to lose? And then you see these grown men overreacting to a victory that who didn't predict? Overreacting. I'm talking men, you know, in their 30s, 40s and 50s and shit. Big grown men overreacting over a win that you knew was coming. But this is basically all of his fights. I mean, I predicted him to beat Ryan Garcia. Oh, but you're going to drain him as well with a rehydration clause? And this is supposed to be an evenly contested fight? So what? I'm a hater because I'm not pretending that I'm excited about watching Tank knock Rolly out. Or Leo Santa Cruz? What about Gamboa? Name one fight where there's a body of people saying this is a 50-50 that Tank could possibly lose. One fight, aside from Pedraza. And that was years back. I'm not going to break the fight down because I can't be bothered. As for these grown men putting up polls, asking if Gervonta Davis is the best fighter in the world, the best at 135, 140, well, that will be reflected in the piss poor pay-per-view numbers it does. Because Frank Martin is not a name in America, let alone the rest of the world. If you're going to be on the cusp of elite boxing broadcasts, you've got to be able to sell the product to the world right now. And they can't do that with these fights. He's not the face of boxing. Why are you even saying it? What is it? Fake it to make it, dream it, believe it, and all this shit? You can believe what you want.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
David Benavidez. Some people say that Gvodzyk won the fight. I sat on the fence on the prediction. I actually thought if Benavidez was going to win, he'd take advantage of the aging Gvodzyk and get him in the late rounds. But he slowed down. He actually slowed down Benavidez in the later rounds. And the Mexican monster gas tank at 175 doesn't look very impressive to me. Physically, skinny arms, a bit of a pot belly. Gvodzyk looked like a specimen. Blue collar boxing, he observed that there was an argument the fight was rigged because Gvodzyk didn't really go for it, did he? Didn't really go for it. It looked like he found Benavidez relatively easy to hit, but he never really went for it. Alexander Gvodzyk. He actually had this kind of, what looked like a grin on his face throughout the contest. Like he knew something. It was strange, but I'm not saying it was fixed. Benavidez won the fight. He won. He won. What do you want me to say? It's sort of a PBC hype job. Never unified a strap. His best win is Caleb Plant, who Canelo knocked out. He took David the distance, this feared punching 168-pounder, and he didn't look like shit against Gvodzyk. Let's keep it real. But, you know, like a very hyped up fighter. That's just the PBC, isn't it? It's just the PBC. Now, you can do all the Mexican monster. He's a great 168-pounder, 175-pounder. I'm not joining in. I know what happens when he meets serious competition. Yeah, there's a little bit of bitching Canelo for not taking him on at 168. But it's the weight. It's the weight. It's the rehydration he doesn't like. Now, if that was circumvented and it was at a weight that Canelo felt comfortable with, let's keep it real. He beats the crap out of David. Struggles with a 60% Gvodzyk, and now apparently he's moving back down to 168. So you're not going to challenge Bivol or Beterbiev. Come on, man. Please. You can put it down to anti-American if you want. When Crawford's my favorite fighter, you can do all that shit you want. Yeah? It's the fact that you guys overhype the fighters and you just happen to be from where you are. And I'm calling it as it is. Old Dave in his late 20s is going to try and squeeze back into the old dress. Ridiculous. Pathetic. Don't worry. You know how it's going to end up for Dave. You know how it's going to end up.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
Let's start here with a 25-0, 15 inside the distance Australian. Liam Paro, the southpaw, who beat Jarvis Brock to clean up Australia, then came over to America and took out Montana Love, went into the Lion's Den in Puerto Rico to fight Subriel Matias for that IBF 140-pound strap. Matchup of the weekend, fight of the weekend. He went into the fight 20-0, 20 inside the distance with one loss, which he avenged by stoppage. The first thing you notice is that spring in the southpaw Paro's back foot. He had the foot speed advantage, but he wasn't running around the ring. He was just giving just enough movement to throw Matias' punches off kilter and then coming back with the faster hands and counters. He won the first round, banged Matias with a left hook from the off, and he made a statement right there. Second round, Liam Paro just peppering Matias. Not trying to bang him with big shots every shot, just peppering him, getting a rhythm going, using that jab. Matias trying to earmuff thing, cover up, then come back with his shots. But Paro keeps him off balance. Matias lands hard to the body, but he needs to get up close. And he doesn't have the mid-range to long jab that Paro has. He can't jab and move. His lack of versatility on the jab has lost him the first two. Paro, boxing, punch placement, hand speed against Matias and that relentless attack. What wins out that round? Hard one to score. Maybe I'm a little gassed up by Liam Paro's boxing. 3 up. Matias bangs his gloves. He talks to Paro. He's frustrated. The referee's on Paro's dick, warning him for head clashes, rabbit punches. But Paro's on it. He's on it, innit? He's on it like, you know what I mean? Like, first 4 rounds, perhaps 3-1 Paro. Yeah, perhaps. Matias coming back hard to the body, working really hard. And the crowd are roaring on everything he does to amplify and perhaps make it look like he's having more of an impact than he actually is. Paro's coming for this strap, bruh. My scorecard is covered with swing rounds. By the 6th round, Matias' body attack looks like it could get him back into the fight. There's a point deduction. Paro, rabbit punching. A left hook comes in from Matias, but it's not a knockdown. The 7th round with the point deduction is a 10-8 round. The scores are very tight at this point. Paro having a very rough moment in the fight. But, you know, the pot shots against Matias' relentlessness. Paro did start to hold on a lot more. Matias was landing hard to the body, driving himself on. Paro was on defense, but the cleaner counters came from Paro. Now, Eddie Hearn said that Paro washed him. I think Paro did scrape it because he made Matias miss more, but there weren't much in it. There wasn't much in it. Did Matias' aggression deserve more recognition? Sergio Mora put it down to the hometown jinx.
I talk about the hometown curse all the time, guys. I hated fighting in the hometown. A lot of fighters, when they go in their hometown, have bad performances. Katie Taylor experienced that. So many fighters. Subriel Matias is experiencing that today. Too much pressure.
Forget Frank versus Tank. This was the matchup of the weekend. The more important matchup of the weekend. The relevant matchup for the weekend. This one here. Most of the people who support PBC fighters knew nothing about it, right? Because they don't study anything about boxing outside the PBC. But they're supposed to be these knowledgeable boxing people. And I put it to you again. Tank Davis doesn't have a better win than what the Australian kid had on Saturday against Subriel Matias. And if he does, who is it?
Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Who is it?
So, NUTRABIO tested their super carb at Eurofins, leading independent third-party testers. No ostarine found in their supplement. Also, the minute trace amount found in the open container that they said was contaminated conflicts with how Ryan had 60 times the amount of the testing limit. Okay, so hair follicle test, bust. Blaming the supplement provider, bust. What's next? What you got next, Ryan? Did he tamper with the open container? Will there be a charge? Caleb Plant came at him with a can of beer.
That nigga hit me with a can of beer.
At the Tank versus Frank event. It jumped off. I guess Ryan was pissed because Caleb broke down his testimony of Ryan's guilt. So Ryan tried to take it out on Caleb's wife, who's one of the presenters at the PBC. And it didn't go down too well. Looks like this boy's got a death wish. Haven't really done the research. Does he have bipolar or ADHD? Either one is a serious condition. And it shouldn't be taken as a joke. Of course not. A society, like especially in the UK, doesn't have the mental health institutions of back in the day, which were extremely draconian. They don't have that no more. People discuss their conditions openly and freely. But sometimes it can get a little touchy-feely, a little too touchy-feely, and people skip around important issues that still need to be addressed. Like, you can have your diagnosis, but you still have to manage your condition without having a negative impact on society. You still have to manage your condition. Joshua tops the rankings right now. The sanctioning bodies rate Anthony Joshua ahead of Tyson Fury following the Gypsy King's split decision loss to Alexander Usyk on May the 18th. The WBC June heavyweight rankings have Joshua as the #1 contender, with their former champion Fury second. Ajit Caballero, meanwhile, only retained his position at third, despite beating Frank Sanchez, previously second, on the undercard of Fury Usyk. The WBA of Joshua ranked #2 behind Martin Bakole, with Tyson at #4. IBF have Joshua ranked at #3, although the 2 top slots are vacant, so he's the top contender there. Filip Hrgovic falling off after that beating he took from Daniel Dubois. Hrgovic drops to #5 with the IBF. I don't know if they've adjusted the rankings since he's lost to Daniel Dubois. Dubois is ranked at #7, below Hrgovic. And the WBO have Joshua at #1. He knocked off their #1 contender, Otto Wallin, in December. Tyson Fury not ranked by the WBO. Deontay Wilder still hanging on to a top 10 ranking with the WBA somehow at #10, and he's ranked #13 by the WBO. Big up Anthony Joshua. Bring on September the 21st. And with that,
I'm gone. Ghost, peace, sayonara.
Hot damn, I'm great. Hot damn, I'm great. Hot damn, I'm great. Hot damn, I'm great.